From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Hello.
It looks exactly
Hello.
as if we were watching with a corpse.
Oh, there you are. I was afraid for a moment that you had forgotten our appointment.
Good evening. This is Sergeant X. They say that ghosts and the like just don't exist.
You remember me, don't you? I'm your host on behalf of the makers of Carter's Pills. And you're to be my guest tonight in the mysterious circle of the inner sanctum.
Unless you think more of a large fat fee than you do of your life, I advise you to throw up the case at once.
Apparently, we don't look at this in the same light, Mr. Dalrymple. I expect danger, and I'm prepared to meet it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Man Alone After Dark. I'm your host, Man Alone, and we got a great show for you this evening, this morning, whenever you're watching it. We have a couple of things, as you saw on the docket. We won't get to all of them. We will get to some that aren't on there. But regardless, I promise that this will be uploaded. So, first of all, I just wanted to sincerely thank everybody who has already picked up a dice set from Dice Nest with the promo code MANDICE alone. It's amazing, and so I've made the executive decision that all proceeds from MANDICE alone, promo code 20% off. Follow the referral code in the description. All proceeds from that are going to go to BB and my honeymoon. All right, so you're not only getting some premium dice in a beautiful magnetic clasp case like this, in case you missed my last video where I gushed over them, I promise I won't gush as much, but in case you missed that and saw these amazing dice that appear to have a sort of ethereal power running through them, as if they're from the what was it in Final Fantasy, Sinestra Core, or am I thinking of a different game? Anyways, please check out the website in the description below, and yeah, so that'll be the funding for the honeymoon will be from Dice Nest. So I mean, if you can't do it right now, it's okay, but just know, we'll probably be having to go to Green Bay, Wisconsin for the honeymoon, which is, it's beautiful there. We probably won't be able to go during football season, but that's probably the parking will be better. So up to you. We could, on the other hand, ride with the Dolphins. Totally up to you. So, but thank you, seriously, everybody that did do that. I very much appreciate it. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. All right, everyone. This is Norman. Norman is, I don't really trust too many people to take on the co-host role. Even Mr. 55 at times, I think about letting him go. But Norman here is a co-host simulator. He's my sort of Andy Richter, my Ed McMahon. So what is it? What is it, Norman? What do you want to say? Okay. Well, yeah, that's what you'd expect from me. It's the intro to the show, Norman. I would hope that you would expect from me to do an intro to the show. And like all co-hosts, Norman doesn't need to say anything, and quite frankly, probably the less he says, the better. I'll say that much. So we have a couple of things I want to talk about, and I'm not sure what order to talk about them in, but I do know that I have been fiddling around with Twilight 2000 again recently. I tried playing this game, and I wasn't ready. Because it really is a combination of wargaming and tabletop role-playing. and it's kind of a cool synergy actually, because it comes with, it's another amazing box set. Right now from Free League, it's 436 kroner, like $46 plus shipping. It is available. I'll put a link below as well. It's available on another sponsor of the channel. Noble Knight Games has it for $40. But yeah, it's another amazing box set. So first of all, and I didn't even remember this, it comes with 15 dice. 15. Including this hit location die. It is a step die system, so it's also going to have some D10s. It has these D6s, which I think are the gear dice, 2 D8s, 2 D12s. And so, but 15 dice. That, my friends, is money. And I think for that price point too, it's incredible. And the reason I've been trying to brush up on it is because I believe Free League is sending me a review copy of one of the two new supplements, either Black Madonna or was it like Dangerous Waters or something like that? Threatening Waters, frightening, Hostile Waters. Look at that. That's hostile. I'm trying to get the right. I got this new light here, but it's a little bit like too bright. It's a little. There we go. There we go. Yeah, but in addition to the 15 dice, you're getting the referee's manual. You're getting tons of these like skirmish maps. Some of them, many of them are two-sided. Some of them are two-sided plus, like they're fold out. Let me see here. Yeah, these are fold out, like I guess infiltration. Super cool. And then also there's a double-sided map of two of the main like deployment areas, which I think are Norway and Poland. And this is a 6-panel fold-out map. So the solo system is included in the core book. I thought there were new solo tools in one of the new Black Madonna or Hostile Waters, but I was looking yesterday, and you know what? Actually, I'm gonna check to see if I have the PDF of those. One second. I guess I do not have that. How strange. I thought I did. Anyways, I wasn't able to find anything on solo rules in either of those. I'm not certain, but I think they were interesting to me nonetheless, because they come with so many, like, they come with maps and cards and stuff like that, and those things are always very helpful to facilitate solo play. Also, I did grab something from the sort of what was it, Free League? What's their community publishing arm called? Free League. Why can't I think of this? Free League. Here, let me look at it. I don't even remember where I was because I just printed out. This is, I'm remembering this now about Twilight 2000, is that it was actually this from Free League Workshop, right? That's what it is. It was this thing that like scared me out of playing Twilight 2000. It was this document that is supposed to be like a player's aid, and it is. Like, this is incredible, but the fact that this is 15 pages in terms of how to play this game, and it's also if anybody knows like the trick for this, it's one of these things that is written or it's produced in a PDF format that every time I see this format, I go, what possesses people to put things in this format? Let me show you. I can't even like get the whole thing because it's like, I mean, it's displayed like a GM screen, right? But I don't have a sheet of paper that is 3 feet long that I can feed into the printer. And you can't just divide it up and print it on separate pages. You have to sort of like, what is it, like rasterize it or whatever. And then you have certain pages, like this one, that if you look, I don't know if you can see this exactly, but it's like on the left, there. On the left, you have every 2 blocks of this. So like starting at right in the middle here, and we go all the way around, that's 1 page, like 2 panels. So there's 1, 2, 1 page, 1, 2, 2 pages, 1, 2, 3 pages, right? But then on some of these, there's 5. So it just has like a hanging page. It has like a page, like a half page. So I don't know how you're supposed to print these, but they're not available in any other format. Again, it's a community produced item, so it's not like they have to produce it in a way that suits me. It's just I just wonder, like, how is it that people normally do this? But it is helpful in that the actual player's guide itself starts off pretty easy, and it is Martin Grip illustrated. It's amazing. Ooh, I loved this. This actually, I don't know why I love this, but like the different names that they call things in different countries. And again, you have these attribute scores that scared me, which they're so simple. It's just D6, 6 or above is success. So the larger dice you have, the more chances of success you have. And so instead of like giving a score for your attributes, it just steps up between D, C, B, or A. Or technically there's a level E, which means you have no experience in that. And so you just roll whatever, I guess, what is it? F. You can also have a skill level of F, meaning you have no training at all. Well, why wouldn't it be E? It goes right to F? Right. And so if you have no training at all, it means that you just roll whatever attribute for that attribute die for that skill. And then the character creation is pretty fun. You get like a big dream. You get a buddy. You get like a childhood that affects what you had, certain things as an adult. This coolness under fire, or cuff, is like keeping calm as bullets are whizzing by your head. I think there's like your childhood skill also, you have like a childhood skill. I thought maybe I'm making this up, and if I am making this up, this is actually a great idea, but you have like a skill in childhood. So say you're like climbing trees, that will turn into something as an adult. I'm almost certain of that. Let me look. There's actually a life path whole thing on this. Okay, this is incredible. This is actually, I think, unless I'm missing something, this is something totally created by whoever made this thing here. Is this like childhood skill or whatever? Come on. There we go. Let me zoom in so I can show you this. So this is close combat. And this is the other thing that's kind of difficult too, is it's like supposed to link up between the different sheets. I mean, it's not terrible. Heavy weapons and explosives. If I was a kid, this would be the coolest picture I've ever seen. By the way, this is a bit of a derailment, but I think it's worth it. I was just looking at the book cover for Twilight 2000, like prior to when it was Free League stuff. And dude, it is so amazing, the subtle changes over time in like what is cool and what is the way to make things look. Because, you know, this was the original one from Free League, but look at, like, is this not a perfect like 1992 cover right here? And in 1992, this would have looked awesome. But now it looks like so corny. It looks like those books that were like an idiot's guide to using Microsoft Excel or whatever. So this was a Mongoose game, actually. And one of the grievances that I've been reading about it is that people saying that And this is for people that played this game since 2000 or earlier, are saying, well, there's nothing new in these Free League titles. They're just rehashing everything. Look at this. The ultimate military role playing. That cannot. Okay, that was added to the catalog. Yeah, so like right here, this had the Black Madonna. So interesting. I wonder when this was originally put out. I don't think it says. Anyways, yeah, so this life path thing here, close combat, heavy weapons, referee aid, life path. This referee aid is intended to help Twilight 2000 referees and players become more comfortable with the character creation process using the life path method. So you start with an 18-year-old, you choose your nationality, roll 2d3 and assign a resulting attribute. Roll 1d6 for your childhood and choose one skill. Childhood background and skills are all found on the childhood table on page 32. So where the hell was that? I didn't see that. The childhood table? So where's the page? All right, 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30. Oh, okay. So, okay. They didn't create this. This is part of the book. Life paths. Although it does say, and I think this is important, it does say in this thing to make sure you're having fun while you're learning about your character's childhood. I think that's great. Roll a d6 on the table on the next page to determine what your childhood was like. If the referee allows it, you may choose instead of roll. Choose one skill at level D from the available options. So were you a street kid? A small town kid? Working class? Intellectual? Military family? Affluent? Oh, this is cool. Yeah, this is what I was saying. So like if you're a street kid, you can choose brawler. Nobody messes with me. I'm a scrounger. I go out after 4th of July and pick up the fireworks on the ground that didn't go off. Did anyone else do that, or was that just me? Anyway, so the point is that there's a lot to it. At the same time, this is excellently laid out, and so I'm wondering, like, if I'm able to get the flow sheets down. Really, I mean, if you condense every directive in a player's guide down to 16 pages, that's pretty impressive. It just is like a lot all at once, and it makes me think that to play this game would be like a very slow process. You'd have to keep checking, like, okay, so I'm moving, what kind of terrain am I in, what's my visibility, what time of day is it, where am I, because there's certain levels of light when you're further up north. These cards also came with it. Amazing deal for the price. Makes you wonder how they can give you all this: cards, 15 dice, referee's guide, player's guide, maps, intel sheets, 5 player sheets. They can give you all this stuff, and then Forbidden Lands, they can't give you a set of dice. Makes you wonder. I'm not mad about it. Oh man, this is my first sound effect I ever bought. Listen to this. You could only, I didn't press it again and it doesn't loop. It was an on sale sound effect, which was a falling guy, but I didn't look at it closely, and it's 2 guys falling. Listen. You could you you hear them both hitting at the end. Listen. Guy 1. Wait for it. And then I guess the second guy, listen. Yeah, there's something else. So maybe his backpack fell? Anyways, well worth it. Oh, I never even realized this. Their playing card. Wow. Look at this. This is amazing. Wow. These are really great cards. Wow, I'm sorry, I'm blown away by this. I never realized. I thought they had maybe like weapon cards. Wow, this is amazing. So these are encounters. Are they all encounters? I guess they're all encounters. Yeah, okay. But still, that's pretty cool, man. Wow. I'm so impressed by that. That makes me want to play even more. Those are a lot of encounters. Yeesh. But that's good for solo play. That's really good. Let me make sure there's nothing else. This is wild. For $46, check this out. 152 page player's guide. 112 referees. 864 by 558 millimeter double-sided map. I think it's like a 2x3. 15 engraved custom dice, 16 modular battle maps, 108 cardboard tokens, 4 battle maps for specific scenarios. Those are the double-sided unfolding ones. 52 encounter cards, 10 initiative cards, 5 blank character sheets, all in this box. That's wild. That's such a great deal. All right, we'll come back to this. So I had a couple other things, but I did want to, because I got so many great phone calls, voicemails left. I wanted to go through some of the voicemails. Let me clip these up here. Come on. There we go. This thing is one of my favorite things I ever purchased. Look at that. All right, so we'll put this aside for a second. I wanted to listen to some of the phone calls. Look at those tokies. It's getting to the point where I can no longer keep them in here. I've also got the GM screen, but it's hard to show that on camera without messing up everything. All right, I'm going to put this all aside and set up the voicemails. We'll do 3 of them, but I have more. I'll do some each episode. If you want to leave a voicemail, please do. Some of these were very funny. Some of these were very sincere. Some of these were the wrong number. Whatever it is, I'm interested in it. Leave a voicemail at my number. And also, if you are a SEAL Team Waffle Alpha member for $3.99 a month, reach out to the membership gate here, Man Alone Waffle, at Discord. That's for memberships, not to just be like, hey, what's up? I have too many messages, friends. All right, so let's set these up. All right, we're just going to go at the top of the list and go down here. So first one first. And I'm not being very careful right now not to share anyone's number or anything. If you call, I'm not going to share your number, and I'll only share whatever information it says on your message. Just be aware.
Hi, my name is Justin. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, as I'm sure most people are. I hope you're well. I really enjoy your stuff. And the question I'm calling with today is, how do you explain solo RPG play to people not in the hobby? When people ask me what I tend to do with my time, sometimes I just call it hobbying, because I find that's easier than trying to articulate the way I spend my free time when I'm
what do you call it?
Rolling my dice and my time. Sometimes I just call it hobbying.
Hobbying.
I find that's easier than trying to articulate the way I spend my free time when I'm rolling my dice and thinking about my things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious, when people ask you questions, how do you explain what it is that we decide to do with our free time? Anyway, fan of the show. Looking forward to seeing this video. All the best. Bye.
Thanks, Justin. Yeah. So the question was, how do I explain solo play to people who are unaware of it? So I think let's disassemble. No, let's not disassemble. I want to, whenever I give or hear somebody else getting advice, one of the worst things I ever, when somebody asks a question on like a message board on Reddit, and somebody deconstructs it rather than answering it, you know, they'll be like, hey, my family, my in-laws are coming over, and I gotta like make something last minute. I kind of want to make it look like I worked really hard on it, but I don't have a lot of time earlier in the day. So what's something that, I could do quick that looks nice? And then the top answer is like, maybe really ask yourself if you should be having guests over. It's like, well, they didn't ask that, jerk. You can give that suggestion if you offer a solution to the question at hand. But I hate this idea. Everyone on every message board thinks that they are smarter than everybody else. And the stupidest person is the person that asks a question. Clearly, Justin, you shouldn't be talking to anybody about what we do. No. So yeah, I think in my experience, a lot of people don't even understand tabletop role playing. Even people who think they understand it, like people who do it understand it. I'm not talking about that. I'm not saying nobody understands it. Even those who are in. I'm saying that people who are like, okay, so there's like my brother has no idea what any of this means. He probably heard Dungeons and Dragons, and in his mind, that is like something nerds do. It probably is combined with like LARPing. It is for people who dressed up as Gandalf to get in line to see Lord of the Rings. Like that is the entire existence that it has in his life, in his mind. And then there are people who understand it peripherally. Like my other brother plays video games, and so he understands it as a very low tech, probably high tedium version of Elden Ring, right? It's like, well, it's for people who, for whatever reason, they don't want to just do the much easier thing, which is to play a role-playing game. And you can give them reasons why people like to play it with each other. Say, well, why don't you just play online? People like to create something. Okay, well, what, there's use Mario Creator or whatever. And so it's not an obstinance in case two. It's just like a disconnect. I don't really get it. I don't understand it. I don't know why people do it. I think most people are around there. People who are at number one and like don't get it at all, it's just not, there's no explanation that is like worth your time. You know what I mean? And then maybe there's people who do play either tabletop role playing or they play something in the peripheral. So they play Magic the Gathering or they play miniature wargaming. So they know what role playing is, or they're like the surface level players. They play 5e. That's all they've ever known. Anything else is a waste of time. In the same way that like somebody who only watches blockbuster movies has like no time. They might get tricked into watching something by A24, but they're not going to watch a 6.5 hour Stanislaw Lem movie or something, right? And so I think for those people there is probably a way to explain it. Although I've noticed that those people on that level 3, I guess we're calling it, are the most smug about it when you say that. They're like, you're playing by yourself. Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of it? And to that I say no, but I will defeat the purpose of you. No, I don't say that. I think that for that level and up, it is worth my time to explain it, worth it to talk about what I do. I tend to think it's always best to not apologize or assume anything in advance. It has always failed me to do that, to be like, well, this person either doesn't understand it or thinks it's stupid, and so I will begin my explanation of it by apologizing for it. I don't have a magical turn of phrase here. I say that I do solo role playing. Sometimes people are able to grok that right away and be like, okay, so you're just like using some tools and stuff like that. A lot of people are like, how does that work? And I'll explain it. But I do think that there's two things at stake here, right? There's like that person understanding, and then there's also us like sort of being ambassadors of it. And so if you don't care about being an ambassador, you know, just you could just say I tabletop role play. But I do see myself in an ambassadorial position where I don't necessarily want to evangelize people on it. I don't think it's for everybody. And so I don't have this assumption that like, oh, here's what you're missing from your life. I think it's something cool. For some people, it's really an answer, and some people it's not. But I do give a pretty enthusiastic description of it. And when people don't or can't understand how it works, by the time I'm done explaining it to them, it usually sounds pretty cool. And I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what the appeal to a lot of people is. If you can like give a full-throated endorsement of it and not do like the apologia in advantia standpoint, is that a lot of people are missing this from their life. Not necessarily solo role playing, but they're missing this thing that we do just because we do it, and there's no other reason for it other than it's what we want to do. I think a lot of people really desire that kind of thing in their life. They really want it, and they will spend a lot of money just to imagine themselves doing it. You know, these are the people that will like be like, well, I really want to write something. So the first step to that is I need to buy a $70 Moleskine and this special cross pen to write it with. And then I also need to get a distraction-free word processor that I can use. And I think that honestly, a lot of that is it's just them wishing that they had it. And so when it comes down to it, almost everybody's stuff is it is literally a waste of time in terms of you're trying to you don't want to waste it, but you're trying to make good use of this time that is draining. You know, the time is draining. And so it's impossible to do purposeful things all the time. You need things that are positive, sort of introspective, nourishing to your mind, soul, heart sort of activities. And then you need things that are externally focused. And in terms of things from the first category that are like internally focused and nourishing, most people, junk. They don't have anything in that category. They have their phone. They have mindless stuff, you know, whether that's scrolling or channel flipping or candy crushing or whatever that is. They want something like this. They really do want it. And so, you know, I think it is an opportunity for somebody to be like, wow, that's really cool. I want to hear more about that. Some people are just going to be jerks about it no matter what. But yeah, I think hobbying is fine if it's involved in those category of people that just aren't going to really get it. But definitely, yeah, I'm not saying you were, but I guess if anybody feel like, don't be embarrassed about it, because the question I would say, well, what do you do? What do you do that's so awesome that I'm not doing? Right? Maybe they are pumping iron. That's a good use of time. We definitely have games about weightlifting. I hope that was more helpful than maybe you should wonder why you're talking to other people in the first place. All right, let's check out the next one.
Hey, man, hello. Yeah, just want to give you a call. What a great idea this was. So I've left a couple of comments on a couple of your videos. I'm not sure if you've seen them. But yeah, you just inspired me to, you know, have some tough conversations. You know, especially with that one video from like a year ago. It was, you know, really, how would you describe it? Yeah, I was just really, went in depth about your childhood. And how a lot of us have things that kind of linger well into adulthood. I've got a pretty similar sort of backstory to what you've described. As far as like addiction and stuff like that, and not being good at maintaining relationships. But I hope that's not a mischaracterization of what you've said.
Nope.
But
spot on.
yeah, man, you really helped me out as far as starting the hobby and kind of doing sort of internal investigation of my psyche, and also getting past those really difficult conversations. So far, so good, and I really feel a lot better about my life since I've had those. Although it's really difficult to walk away from some people, But that's all I wanted to say. And yet, hopefully you do this again. This is great. Thank you so much.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you for that. And you said that you had left some comments. Please let me know who you are if you can comment on this video if you do see that. Yeah, so much good stuff there. I am so happy to be of service in the way that I had hoped to be of service. You talked about difficult conversations and how finally having those conversations can be very liberating. One of the for whatever reason, most of the reasons for not having these conversations are quite dumb, but they are what they are. One of the reasons one of the conversations that was really difficult for me was that I'm not that kind of good person. Like, for a long time in my life, I was trying to be the type of good person that I thought a good person looked like. Like, now starring Man Alone as a good person, and I played that role, and it actually had an opposite effect on me. Like, rather than, for some people, it's like, well, you just need to open your heart and, take a chance and share with others. And I was doing these things, and I was being generous, and I was giving of my time, and I was giving of my effort, but it was not the way that I can serve. Like, I am just, I have we all are a certain type of person, and we all have certain things that we enjoy doing. There are no universal things that people like doing. And so these, like, this archetypical nice person had a lot of tasks that went against the way that I am as a person. I'm like, I'm quite a bit grumpy. Okay. I'm a person who is very, impatient. I also, I don't get warm fuzzies from just like presence, like being around people and presence. Like, I love analysis. I love discovery. I love helping people to release like trapped things in themselves. And so it was having that conversation about like, all right, you're not the kind of person that's going to help the world by like working a soup kitchen. Soup kitchens I would love to work as. That's fine. I'm just saying, like, that sort of mold of a good person does not conform to my gifts. And so what was happening was I was play acting as this good person, and I was actually becoming bitter. I was becoming disenchanted with people because I was not getting what I felt I was supposed to be getting, which is very selfish, right? You're supposed to be helping people, but I was not getting the secondary rewards from that. I was not feeling good. I was not feeling like, wow, humanity is just beautiful. I was feeling stressed. I was feeling like I was involved in busy work that was not interesting to me, did not feel productive for me, did not feel useful for me. there were certain things that I was doing them that I was like, I think the best thing for me to be of service right now is to just leave, because like I am such a negative presence here just because of who I am. And you know, that's not to say that I am impossibly set in my ways. It doesn't mean that like, oh, well, try not being so grouchy. I agree. I shouldn't be so grouchy. However, that is a default. So when I'm not that way, I have to work against that. Why I'm saying all of this is like the hard conversations that we have to have in our lives. What's funny in a way about them is that all of us know what they are. All of us know what we have to do to unburden ourselves. Like there's very few people who are like, it's just a mystery to me. Like, it's like most of us know that we have a task at work that shouldn't be our problem and we have to do it every day and we're resentful for it. We know that there is a person who calls us 3 times a week that when we see their name on the caller ID, our heart sinks because we know that they're just about to like parasite off of us and that they do not care about us one bit other than our ability to like serve as a free for cost therapist for them. We know that there are certain things that we do and certain situations that we get ourselves in that repeatedly disappoint us and repeatedly anger us. And we know when we're better than that, or when we're worth more than that, or when doesn't suit us, or when something is completely arranged to ignore our needs and focus on somebody else's. We know these things, but we don't have the conversation because it's all so damn hard. It's all so difficult. And so even if it's miserable, at least it's holding itself together. And so once we are able to stand up and have those difficult conversations with ourselves and really ask ourselves, is this serving me? And most of them involve not acting different, but actually acting like ourselves. And the thing that I was afraid of most of the time is what did happen, which is that person, whoever the other person was or situation, but most, usually there's a person involved, they'd say, hey, you're not being the person I want. I come to you to get this person and you're not showing me that person, and that makes you selfish. And it's like, yeah, sorry about that. I've been lying to you. I have been false. I have been showing you something that I did not feel to be true. And then engaging in a full onslaught of radical honesty is one of the most liberating things ever, because you just can't, no weapon formed against it shall prosper. It's like when somebody's like, but wait, you told me that you loved coming here. I don't, I'm sorry. Well, then why did you keep coming here? I'm afraid of you. And you make me nervous, and you make me feel, which is being confirmed right now, that when I defy your wishes, you will hurt me. And that's what you're doing right now. So I was correct. So I'm just trying to get this conversation over with. And it's like, what can they do? Right? They can, all the tools will come out, right? They will try to, well, if you just want to abandon me, then that's fine. All of these things will come out. But when you're done with that conversation, suddenly you have recruited back so much energy. And now it's like the dice nest diced. No, I won't do it. They do look like they're teeming with energy. Anyway, you have this like explosive power that just like blasts out of you. And there's nothing better than that. And each time you recruit back like a shard of your soul, like Magnus from 40K, every time he gets a shard back, his powers get a little bit stronger. You get addicted to collecting these shards back. And suddenly you're like, you forgot. You're like, oh yeah, that's right. I am massive. Like, I'm massively powerful. Isn't that amazing? But it's what's stopping us from doing that is fear. And so I think a lot of times I would try to find an excuse other than fear, and I would search and search and search and search, and I would find nothing but fear. And then I would say, well, maybe I can lie. But then I was like, no. If I lie and say it's for another reason, I'm just setting myself up for another prison. And then finally I was like, wait. What if I just said I don't want to do it? And then I just didn't do it. I mean, what's going to happen? Someone going to kill me for it? I mean, maybe if that's the case, I have around 9,000 subscribers. I mean, I guess one person might be in it deep like that, but for the majority of you, what's going to happen is this, the thing that is making you feel bad is going to make you feel bad one last time in a really big way. And then your money. So thank you for that. And I really, I'm so glad I was able to help. That gives me so much. One of the reasons why paying it forward, being of service is the last step in AA is you really can't understand it until you're there, which is that this is the only thing. It is being of service and contributing to the stream of unconsciousness that flows through all life. Jung, when he wrote the Red Book, and he was just kind of completely out of public life for 5 years and just had a big long think when he developed active imagination, was, in addition to solidifying his purpose and saying, okay, this is, in a way, the process of this is what I am. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Yes, I wish I could do these other things. Yes, I thought I would be doing so. I'm not. I won't. Here's what I am, right? But in addition to that, he, to his death, said that those 5 years were the most important things he did as a human. And he did it by himself in a room alone. BB and I were talking today about... I forget the first part of the title of this documentary, but it's amazing. It's called The Realms of the Unreal. It's about Henry Darger, who was a true outsider artist, never published anything. In fact, he had tens and tens of thousands of pages of fully illustrated work that was only found after he died. And he likely had schizophrenia, and he maybe killed some people. We don't know. Anyway, it's a fascinating documentary. But if you were to sit at home and write a 15,000 page manuscript and never publish it, my belief, and it's not even my belief, it's my knowledge that I don't wish to argue, it doesn't benefit me, it's just what I know, is that you have done much for humanity. You have done much for humanity by doing that. And in fact, I think we're at a critical time in history when more people can benefit from tending their internal garden rather than vomiting what they see as meaning out on everybody else. I think we desperately need a turn towards the internal, and through that the divine. But yeah, I'm really glad about that. Thank you for calling. I hope to hear from you again. And yeah, if anyone keep doing this, yes, we will. Leave me a voicemail. Okay, well, one more. We'll just go down the line.
Hey, Man Alone, it's Anti-Snowman.
Oh, here we go. I have not listened to this yet. I'm trusting that Anti-Snowman, this will be great. I am betting it now. I'm gonna bet a D10 and a D8. Where's the play? Is that it? Oh, no. No, I'm just kidding.
I got two things for you in case one of them's a dud or you don't have much to say about it.
Great.
The first one is, do you have any thoughts on solo role-playing in public? Have you ever tried it, or are you always at your battle station at your desk? I've done it a couple of times, and it helps me, just go out and do something. Yeah. If a local game store has, a table for play, I like playing there for a bit. So that's thing one. Thing two, if you could only choose dice or cards for the rest of your life for RPGs, which do you choose to use for everything? It's like a taco or pizza question, but with, yeah, you get it, with RPG stuff. And the final thing is,
this is 3.
Anytime you say Card Boy, I always think of that Starboy song by The Weeknd. And I was going to make a parody of it, but I couldn't sing it well enough, so I was like, well, I'll leave that on here too. Just know every time I think, I'm a card boy, and I don't even remember how the rest of the song goes. Okay, that's it. Thanks, bye.
I win. And I bet dice. I think that answers it. Okay, so here's the deal. I have grown... I am a card boy, and I have grown super attached to cards. And like, I was noticing over the past few days, I also got Korg, which I wanted to talk about. Classic Korg. And these as well, which are like unbelievable, beautiful illustrations of just rooms here. I was like, gosh, I love these cards. And cards, they hold... all right, let me... First of all, thank you, Anti-Snowman. What a great call. And I will say that, all right, the other day, just follow along with me here for a second, because I think it'll sound wacky at first, but I have a point to this. The other day, I got a $10 bill for something. And for whatever reason, I don't know if this is based in reality or just my impressions, I feel like $10 bills, I haven't gotten a lot of those. I either get a 5, a 1, or a 20. So I got a 10, and I was just kind of looking at it. And I was like, why do I love this so much? You know, like the actual dollar. And to be clear, I don't think of myself as like a greedy person. In fact, I think of myself as quite bad with money. And honestly, like if a friend came to me and was like, "Can I just have? I need help," I'd be like, "Yeah, like whatever, take whatever is on the table there or whatever." I really am lucky enough to have a specific currency-based brain damage where I am just like, yeah, well, I mean, whatever. If I have some, you'll have some. If I need some, you can give me some. And as BB can attest, there's quite a downside to this because I'm really bad at saving and stuff like that. But I was looking at it and I was like, look at the magic of money. Like just looking at this piece of paper that represents 10 monetary units. It is so much more exciting to have that sheet of paper than it is to, here's one from the table. What is this one right here? Yeah, this is like some bookmark that I had. Like this is also a sheet of paper. Oops, got to plug in my camera 1 second. Like, yeah, it's also a sheet of paper, but it like does nothing for me. It does nothing for me because it holds no power. Whereas money has power. You know, it is, especially me. So one of the reasons I think I am so bad with money is because when I was little, I never had it. I never from a family of 7, and it was we never wanted for anything. You know, my parents provided, but I didn't have an allowance. I didn't have any inheritance. I had $300 in my bank account when I went to college. That was from like my first communion, and I think I got $100 for my graduation. And so when I had money, I like wanted it really, really bad. I wanted it to go out and have fun. I wanted it to buy things I want. One of the reasons I never got into tabletop role-playing, miniature wargaming, or anything until I was older was because I had no discretionary income. None. So anything that I got until I had a job my junior year of high school, I worked at Ace Hardware. I just had to ask for it. And you must be crazy if you thought my parents were going to spend $80 on, a Wraithbone Eldari speed bike or something. And so I lusted after money. I really did. I mean, it's again, it wasn't about like, it's not like I wanted to be rich and famous. I just wanted some damn spending money. And I was just looking at this $10 bill, just like, why are you like, how is it that you capture so much power in you? And the thing is, though, is like, these do too. Like, I feel power emanate from these. These classic Korg, it makes no sense. I did the math on this. This was, and it's a great little game. I love this. And Dungeon Havoc is so good at like the math and the balancing and just making so much in a small package. But this is $1.67 per card. There's 6 cards. I paid $10 for it. Then you have like these Boons and Banes, which are nice and have this really, really nice booklet and this magnetic clasp, and they have art on every card. And these are really nice too. These are 50 cents a card. If you look at the per unit price, there are 40 in here and it costs $20, which is actually really nice. I just don't know what to do with them. And so, 50 cents a card. And then, we have O1's Deck of Dungeons, which is 80 cards. And it certainly is not as nice a box as Boons and Banes here, but it's still a nice little box that has a design principle. It looks like a little kit here. The cards are a little flimsier, but they are so good. Like, they're so packed with, each of them have a different map on them, and then the back of all of them. I mean, it's like a whole page. Each of them is a page in a dungeon delve or a mega dungeon. These are 80 cards, $36. These are 45 cents a card. I think, yeah, I'll link these below. They're on sale right now too on drive-thru. 45 cents a card. 45 cents a card. 50 cents a card. $1.67 a card. But these, and normally I would, and there is honestly a video in me to talk about how I'm not one bit upset about this, but I do think that the fact that we can spend $1.67 per card or 50 cents per card is just such a, we have no idea what stuff should cost in this hobby. And I feel very happy to have supported this, and I love Korg is like, you want to talk about playing in public? That was your first question. Something like Korg is absolutely perfect for that. Like, you could play this on a park bench. But what is it that makes it, worth 3 times as much as this? It could be economies of scale, but I'm sure that like O1 doesn't have a whole print house or anything. The point is, we don't know how much stuff costs, and I think that sometimes we get taken advantage of. Like, I don't know what it was in the Discord store. I really can't remember what it was right now. But there was some like cards I found on drive-thru that were like $50. And I was like, I wrote, and of course, no answer. I was like, what is it about these cards that are like, are they printed on prosciutto? Like, what is it about these that you thought it was okay to charge $50? And I worry sometimes that like the business strategy for some people is like, you know what, put it as $50. We sell 3 of them. We're going to like make our money back 5 times over. And anyways, that's a different thing. I am totally happy to have spent that on this Kickstarter for Classic Korg, because I want to support this person. I like their art. I like their ideas. But it had no case. It had nothing. And here's another thing to think about. If you were to have 80 classic Korg cards, like $10 for classic Korg. So let's just say for a second that I had 80 of these. Yeah, this is how wacky our hobby is. So the 80 of these, right? $10 for this, no problem. I love it. If you were to buy 80 of these, would you do that? Because 80 of these would be $133.70. Would you pay that for that? Isn't that a bit weird? I think we need to start level setting in terms of cost and stuff here, because there is some wacky pricing, man, wacky. And I'm not look, let me just say a couple things in my defense. And I've already said this about Korg, so I don't need to say it anymore. Thank you, Caleb. These are awesome. I would have paid double that just because you do so much great stuff. However, this is more broadly speaking. How about the fact that we have different books that, like the Bleakness that just came out. It's a nice book. It's a hardcover book. It's about the size of a children's book. It's got like 50 pages. It looks really nice. It's $50. What about that makes that $50? Why is that $50? And this is $3.50. Now, talking about Yokai, it's a little bit different. He's very principled about the cost of things. But even that, Blades in the Dark. What does Blades in the Dark cost? And that's what, 380 pages? And so it's just really strange about the variability. And I think my gripe with it is not like personal, because that's what I want to say is anybody who wants to say that whenever this does come up, I feel like I'm the only person in the room who has the opinion that I do, which maybe means that I'm the asshole. But I spend literally thousands of dollars a year on people's games. Okay, I am so happy to buy independent games. I try games sight unseen sometimes just to give people a shot. All right, and I sell my games for as low a price as I can to still maintain motivation for me to make them. Okay, and so I don't want to hear it because what let me see. Yeah, Called to the Green, $18 for the softcover book, 51 pages, so it's 35 cents a page. And I would just like to say that includes 2 other creators that I pay out a portion of that to. And so I'm not trying to be a braggart here. I'm not saying that I'm more moral at all. I'm just saying that it would be unreasonable for me to charge more than that for that. And yet you'll have books that are less pages than that are sold for almost triple that. And I'm not always certain of like what it is. My God, I've completely forgot to be answering Anti-Snowman's questions. Look, it's Man Alone After Dark. Let's bring it back. What other sound things do I have? I made a mistake. This one says mistake. Okay, so all right, so playing in public. Yeah, I have no problem with that. I think usually a smaller one. I actually really like that idea of going to the FLGS to play. The problem with that is I think I'd have so many people come up to me, not because I'm Man Alone. They'd be like, "Nice hands. I know your hands." It's kind of funny actually. Nobody at my FLGS knows who I am. In that respect, I talk to a lot of people there, but they don't know that I have this channel. But I really like that idea, except the thing is, I think people would be like, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you playing? What is that?" Which is when I'm playing, I want it to be like total. I want to be in a sphere. I have gone out. I have like a little picnic table by my house. I have gone out and definitely played there. I have also like worked on games and stuff like that while out there. So yeah, I definitely like that. Dice or cards? Despite everything I just said, this is where I was going. Despite everything I've just said, dice are... If cards are money, dice are gems. They are like diamonds, because ever since I was little, I have been fascinated by dice. It is they to me, they have some sort of like magic potential. That's why I love these so much, is because they literally look magic. And like my Free League dice, like looking at this when I walk in, it is like, I love it. I love these. And they are the platonic embodiment of chance, of anything can happen. They're so special to me. I keep dice on me all the time. Almost all day at work, I have a die in my pocket that I'm twirling around. And they are just... they're so adaptable. You could have so many different kinds of it. And then I have my, where are my, so these are my Free League boys. Where are my Chaosiums? Because my Chaosium collection is coming along as well. Let's check in on that. Yeah, the Chaosium one is doing well. And in fact, in addition to my pizza Chaos, or sorry, these are Q Workshop, which is Chaosium. They make most of the Chaosium dice. But in addition, I got the pizza dice. You can build your own. You can get the Hawaiian. But I recently got the Gremlins dice from them. So look at this. Do not feed after midnight. Fantastic. Look at these Gremlin dice. Are pretty dope, aren't they? Fun. Yeah, so these circus ones, I love them. The answer to your question is dice, 1,000 times dice. I also found my FLGS start was just like selling a bunch of these modern D4s, and I bought like 7 of them because nothing rolls like a modern D4. I have to transfer this over though for some reason. I was using this before, but the Free League dice outgrew it. Great question, Anti-Snowman. Thank you. And again, anybody who breaks and enters into my house, just there's no jewelry box. You just want to go for this because the combined, it's probably, I don't even want to think about it. All right, so I got curious about this Liminal Horror. And I also think that I have always thought that this was the player's guide. I think it is. It's a 44-page zine that tells players how to play, but players gonna play. But the thing about it is that I didn't know there was a core book. They're actually kickstarting it now. The Liminal Horror Deluxe Edition is you can get $60 for the book. I don't know if I want to do it. I have till May 15th. I'll link it below. I did find, I just don't know enough about it yet, but it has like Cairn Into the Odd type simple rules. And also for free on itch.io, I found this Liminal Horror Solo Starter. Let me print this out and try this out. Let's see what this is like. All right, let's check this out here. Liminal Horror Solo Starter. Quickly generate a story seed by Bayang. I'll link this. So, places generator. Then page 2. Events generator. For solo play, thinking of a series, a movie, a book before you start can be useful to set the tone to help you immerse. Create a character, background, follow the official rules. Oh, that's interesting. And then you have 2 possibilities. play behind closed doors or don't play behind closed doors. Huh. The doom clock. I see. Cool. I'll link that below if you want to check it out. It's free. Yeah, so I think, see now, it's like get it in my head to, I'll review this stuff to see, maybe I can try, see if we do a video on it to figure out, because I think there are some people who like go gaga over this, but I think a big part of this is like the bonds that the different characters have. So it'd be one of those games where it's not that we can't solo, we certainly could, but it's just that investigation games, as are well chronicled on this channel, have some issues. And then also, I need to see if I actually like it, but let me play it first before I back it. I'm trying to save. I'm trying to spend more responsibly. You know what? I'll say if one person buys some dice. No, stop doing that. Well, I'll just put these here. They're very nice. It's very tacky, though. You know, to give like sponsorship ultimatums. All right, so this is Mortal Coil, which it's being called a hack of Liminal Horror because it's like you're a space necromancer. What's interesting about this is it has like its own lore, where everyone who's dying goes to like basically the warp and just suffers. This is available on drive-thru. This is actually really, really well made. This I can maybe get behind here, but yeah. So it has strength, dex, and control. I like that. This is definitely Karen rules. I may play this. I may play this. This actually looks pretty cool. Facilitator. And then you got a bestiary. Hellraiser is an inspiration. You don't have to tell me twice. It's one of my faves. There is a on YouTube, there is a full reading of Hellbound Heart, the first Hellraiser book. It's so good. It's like 3 hours long. Cyan Starlight, another game, Alan Barr. Let me get the other game that I bought from Alan Barr's that I just love. 1 second. See, now I'm looking at this thinking, did I not fully give this its due? Now, few things are going to be better than Lee Wade's Alone Against Nyarlathotep. But what is like the... what is the gimmick here? Oh, I think I was a bit turned off by this one because it's very journaling heavy. Yeah, it's like based on story direction and stuff. But I wonder if we could just like, because I've been looking for a game that I can play that is like very, very performance focused. Because I'd love to do like, you know, even though my last video was about how I wanted to do less unfamiliar play on camera, I would love something that I can just sort of like improvise a story rather than be focused too much on dice rolls and stuff like that. That could be a good contender. I'll put it in my overstock. All right, yeah, so this was Shadow of a Dying Sun. I've looked at this before, but this looked like a game that you could 100% just like get going and playing. Now, you kind of have to. It's a setting and a system. It's not necessarily a game. But one of the things I love that I thought was so cool was this thing in it called the Heron's Path. And one of the pieces of this game is that you're going to die. Your character is just dying, and it's a dying Earth thing. And as you go on, you get these scars, and they go in order. And so as your character gets closer and closer to death, which is at the bottom here, they're just becoming super powered, which I sort of like that as an alternative to the progression games where, you know, you get to this point where you're just like a demigod that's thrashing everybody. I wouldn't mind that as bad if I was going to just die, like at the end of that. And then Cyan Starlight, I did play this a bit. It's a very moving game. And the thing I like about Alan Barr's games is there's so little head scratching involved in them. Like, you can pick them up and just read through them, and immediately every word just makes sense, and the mechanics make sense, and they're all in such great order. But this game is, again, the setting of it, as most of his games deal with his challenges with his mental health. This game is like such an eerie setup, which is that the universe is just like empty, and you awoke, and the whole universe is like dyed cyan, which I think is so interesting. It's not like you're on a planet and everything is that color. The whole universe. I think it's very interesting. And there is, you know, like, why do we listen to sad songs? It's to sort of revel in whatever feeling that is. I honestly think that there is sometimes such a push to prove that solo role-playing isn't for lonely people that can't find friends, that there is sometimes like an enforced glee that goes along with them. And I like the fact that Alan Barr is like, no, like, you're the only one, or you're dying, and the sun's dying, and everything's dying, because sometimes there is something about leaning into that feeling that feels like wrapping a blanket around yourself, a blanket of your own despair. Because if you can't be proud of your own despair, what the hell can you be proud of? We're not going to have time for Scarlet Heroes, but I'll just say this about Scarlet Heroes. Scarlet Heroes was made in 2014, and I ask once again, why have we continued making games after Scarlet Heroes? They cannot be better. We did it. I mean, other than the setting, the illustrations, and stuff like that, what Charles did. Okay, I'll say this. You know, one of my favorite things to do is when I look at this cover, is I try to imagine that this isn't an attempt at a perspective, and what you have here is like this guy, and then this guy is tiny. Like, don't even look at this here. It's just like, he's just... Oh, take me away. Take me away. It doesn't cancel the last. Let's hear it. 1, 2. What is it, Norman? All right, I'm coming. Hold on a second. I can't find the browser. Stop. I hear you. Where is Norman? What do you mean? Oh, there he is. All right. What do you want, Norman? I know, I'm trying. Well, you have to say something about Scarlet Heroes? It is a classic. I agree with you. It's a classic. That's not a joke. You just kind of set me up. Thank you. That was very nice, Norman. It sounds great. Why couldn't I have, like, what kind of an AI co-host? This seems very antiquated, I guess. All right, Substratum Protocol by Pandion Games. Once again, I ask, does Pandion Games make the best-looking games out of any company? This game is breathless. All right, needed for play. This book, pencils, and the personnel and mission control folios found at the end of the book, or team folio if playing solo. What does a team folio look like? This is probably what Norman does. Just tracks every piece of knowledge that he gets. All right. Team folio. Make, break, dash, evade. So it's like a skill set. All right. Let me tell you my... I'm telling you my bias. This is not like my beef with it. This is the bias I have in my head. As for the reason I have not played Substratum Protocol, even though Pandion Games sent me a copy of this. And thank you very much. Not only do you make amazing games, you are the nicest customer service I have ever encountered in my life. Please order from Pandion Games. They have that dungeon journal, which is beautiful. Okay. So the bias I had is that this is a linear game that with a start and end, which I like sometimes, but I was like, well, I would rather play a game that I could just like keep playing for this. But I'm realizing, or at least I'm considering, if I just completely made that up. So we're going to find out. Lay down a card versus MC. Mission control. Well, this is kind of interesting. So wait a minute. There's like a what's the mechanics here? Now I'm curious. I have to be careful because there is some... I know there is some hidden stuff in this game that I don't want to spoil. All right. So this is one of those games where you combine skills and do 2 skill checks. So it says, when players attempt something dangerous or take an action, a skill check is required. Follow the following steps. Determine the 2 skills that apply to the task or action. Draw 2 cards. Roll the current dice of the 2 chosen skills. Compare the sum to the value of each drawn cards, where ace is 1 and king is 13. If the skill check is greater than or equal to both cards, it's good. If it's greater than or equal to 1, it's okay with a complication. Less than, it's bad with a severe complication. Okay, I like that. It's kind of like Iron Sworn with playing cards. I don't really like that, actually. That's cool. And then there's step dice, stress. Okay, this is kind of interesting. So these knowledge, understand, building, power your exosuit. You have sort of like a little companion cube. I think what it is that maybe there is an answer to what's going on, this anomaly, and once you understand it, that's it. Maybe. So we have to make our team. We have rule adjustments here for solo play. So simplified solo, build a character, not a team. Oh, this is if you want to play it not even with a team. Don't want to look at that. That's clues. Some locations here. I wonder if they have like cards for this. That would be kind of cool. But they would cost money. What if I didn't even look it up? Could I do that? What if I didn't look up whether they had cards or not? Ooh, I'm like exploring the feeling that I have right now. Because if I didn't look, then I wouldn't know, and I'd have no chance of buying them. Yeah, I have a problem. I definitely have a problem, because right now I'm like feeling stressed about that. Ooh, yeah. Attic brain is coming out. So my brain was just like, you need to share it with your followers. Nasty. I need something to distract me. No, Jerry. Don't fall. Oh, no. Wait, Steve, what? Steve! Steve, your backpack is falling right behind you. Watch out. Oh, Steve hit. And his backpack. All right, well, I hope you had fun. I hope this was interesting. It's gone on quite a bit. Let me know what you think of the new show format, unless you didn't like it, in which case, just comment on Dungeon Dive video with whatever your comment is. Okay, goodbye. Hey! I really have to update this. Please, one person comment and I will update it. If one person's like, why isn't my name there?